Welcome to Empower Her Radio, the space for powerhouse women ready to step into their next level of abundance, purpose, and personal freedom. I'm Dr. Corey Winn, a high performance coach, doctor of physical therapy, philanthropist, and business consultant. I help ambitious women align with their highest calling, expand their wealth and impact, and create a life that feels as good as it looks. If you're a high achieving woman who's built success yet finds yourself craving more alignment, more purpose, more ease, you're in the right place. Here, we bridge the gap between ambition and fulfillment. Through transformative conversations and proven strategies, you'll gain the courage to step into the fullest expression of you. Build a powerhouse business that aligns with your expertise and divine gifts, and lead your life, both personally and professionally, with unshakable confidence, worthiness, and compassion. This is about expansion, legacy, and owning your power unapologetically. You already have everything inside of you to create a life of unlimited possibility. It's time to unlock it. Welcome to your next level. Let's dive in. This episode of Empower Her Radio with Dr. Corey Winn is brought to you by Her Quantum Rise, the private coaching experience for the woman who refuses to play small. Her Quantum Rise is where high-achieving women come to elevate their leadership, align with their deepest purpose, and unlock overflow in every area of life. This is where you shed the old paradigm, step into your highest identity, and rise with clarity, certainty, and unstoppable momentum. If you are ready to move from doing it all to leading from grounded power, if you feel the pull toward a bigger life, a bigger mission, and a bigger capacity to receive, then I would love to explore what this next level looks like for you. Book a complimentary call at www.corywin.com/free call and step into the room where your expansion becomes inevitable. Your rise starts here. Today's guest is a woman redefining what it means to lead, connect, and rise with intention. I am thrilled to welcome Lirone Glikman, a global business development expert, international keynote speaker, and author of the Super Connectors Playbook. Lirone has worked across 20 countries, helping high-achieving women elevate their visibility, embody confidence, and build the kind of relationships that open doors to impact, wealth, and aligned leadership. Her work is rooted in authenticity, influence, and the power of showing up as the fullest expression of who you are. Lirone, I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive in.
Hi,
Tell us
Corey.
first kind of where you started, how you ended up where you are. What was your big journey?
So, Corey, I'm really happy to be here today. Thank you so much. So essentially, like a lot of things in life, it actually started in the mindset. So I grew up in a house where my father dream was to become a commercial pilot. He was always a pilot, but he wanted to become a commercial pilot. So all my childhood was living in a house where all the family is gathering towards helping our father, whether was it to be quiet between 2 to 4 because he had to fly a lot of people at night, through, really celebrating the small and big wins of his journey. And I think by that, one of the most important values I received was, as a little girl, was how amazing it is to live your dream. But then the next question is, what is my dream? I had
Right.
a lot of dreams.
Right.
And I wanted to work at NASA and I wanted to work in the circus and I had a lot of dreams. And then I realized that the length between me to achieving those dreams was about people because I didn't know anyone at NASA or I didn't know anyone at the circus for the matter. So at a young age, I realized that it's amazing to fulfill your dreams. You need to know what you want and you need to know the right people. Fast forward so many years later, that's what I do today, essentially. So you asked me what was the first thing. So actually, I wanted to influence people, and I wanted to be in the radio. And I took a small course at a small like national radio in the country where I lived in. And after 4 days, I actually knocked on the CEO's door. I was 16, and I told him, I want to work for you. They said, you know what? $30 per month for commute, and you're going to produce the top show in the radio. And for a 16-year-old girl to see someone who believes in her, I think that was one of the pivotal moment that I said, hey, if I was able to do it, if he believed in me, maybe I can do more.
Yes, I love that. Well, and so many of us need that one person
Mhm.
to either give us permission to be kind of the role model of, well, hold on, they did it. Maybe I can. And so many women continue to kind of stuff that dream down because of family or commitments or motherhood. What would you say to that woman who's holding off right now and waiting for the right time?
Wow, Corey, I love your question because I can also, first of all, share from my experience that I was brave at times, but also there were times in my life, like it's been over 20 years since I was 16. But there were times in my life I felt less brave or less capable or less even deserved. And I'll answer by sharing a little story. A decade ago, when I started also teaching business relationship and personal branding around the world, I wanted to write for the Huffington Post, if you remember
Mhm.
this
Oh yeah.
Favor by Ariana Huffington. And I always admire this woman. She's an immigrant from Greece, came into the US and created her own empire as a media personality. And someone said in a certain group, hey, if you write her an email about writing it for the Huffington Post, she might said yes. So that's what I did. I wrote her an email. Hi, Ariana. My name is Lirone. I specialize in business relationship. I would like to write about it at the Huffington Post. And then, I thought I will never hear back from her.
Mhm.
It took her 24 hours to reply back and CC her assistants and be so kind and say, "Hey, I would love to hear your voice." So the Huffington Post, here is what you have to do. And you know what happened to me next?
What?
I had a writer's block or a success block for about 4 months. I couldn't even get myself to write or to do something. And and I think, and going back to your question, I mean, I got what I wanted, but then the problem wasn't to do it. It was my mindset. It was my value of myself because I'm like,
Right.
do I really deserve to be a writer for the Huffington Post? And it took me
Right.
4 months to understand that, hey, I'm afraid, but I got what I wanted. And how would my life look like if I would go through this challenge? And what if I won't? And the opportunity is there in front of you. So my answer is that we always have many blockages, and many of them are in our mindset. We see so many people which are less capable than us or have some other challenges in life, like they weren't so fortunate as many others, but they still got to so many heights. So it's a lot about feeling capable, and even if not, fake it till you make it, because we only live once. Then just find the courage inside of you and find the support system to help you make it.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I do with my clients in her quantum rise. If
Mhm.
you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to ever get to that place. Your dreams will
Yeah.
never come to fruition because first, the self-confidence and the self-worth piece must happen. Obviously, and I think what I want to hear our listeners hear from you too is most often everyone else around us sees our abilities before we see them in ourselves. So if you can kind of borrow that hope or borrow that belief, then you can start chipping away. You talk about kind of building your success as being a connector and working around authentic connections. Was there anything that you kind of had to unlearn in that process of meeting and connecting, or some inner beliefs and mindset specifically that you've talked about?
Yeah, so first of all, I love what you said about borrowing this, what others see in us, and own it in many ways. So I think it's a really good way to put it. So I mean, for me, what I had to unlearn or maybe reestablish is, first of all, I moved by myself when I was 21 to Sydney, Australia. I didn't know anyone, and I got a radio show with a really bad English, and then I got to work for the biggest corporate Westfield shopping center in the marketing division. Later, I did the same in New York. After 3 weeks, I got a job at a PR firm. So I mean, a lot of people told me, nobody's going to wait for you. Nobody's going to help you. Like a boomerang, you will go to Sydney and you'll come back. People didn't believe in me. So I needed to, first of all, believe in myself and say, okay, this is just a background noise. But all those conversations gets to you. And every time I was approaching someone, on the one hand, I felt like I need to unlearn that I'm not annoying them. Because sometimes we think that we're annoying them or we're too pushy. But then I started to understand maybe they enjoy speaking to me as much as I enjoy speaking with them. Or maybe most people would like to help me and not reject me. So today I walk around the world, and I actually last week spoke in my 28th country, which was Latvia in the Baltics.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
it's very exciting, and it's also due to the fact that if I go with the mentality of the world is my oyster, and it doesn't have to be the world, it could be even your city is the oyster. Just if I believe that most people would like to help me, and if those who doesn't want to help me, it doesn't have to do with me, it's about them and their priorities, then life is so much easier because I took a lot of things personally. I thought if they told me no, then it's me. I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. Maybe I need to do more. But then we learned that most people really care about their own things, and many things that people say, it's not about us, it's about them. It's
Mhm.
about their schedule, about their priority. And once I let go of, oh my God, maybe I'm bad or I'm horrible, to this is theirs and I respect their decision. It doesn't have, it has nothing to do with me.
Mhm.
I really released so much weight and so much, just annoying and repetitive thinking in my mind. And I was just able to go to around the world or the city and with ease and say, okay, you said no, so thank you. Moving on to the next one.
I love that so much. And I think the other thing I want our audience to hear is
Mhm.
the no might be not yet. The no may be pushing you for something bigger and better. I can't tell you how many times in my own personal life and then in the lives of my clients where they thought and I thought that this was the best that it could be. And we really wanted this thing. And then the door closed. And then 10 doors opened on the other side. And if we'd settled or really, really pushed to continue in that lane, all of these other things wouldn't have happened.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, too, our friends and our family who are like, no, like you said, you're going to come back like a boomerang.
Yeah.
It's their fear. And we don't have to embody their fear. We don't have to take on their fear.
So true. So true. We really need to know what is theirs and what is ours. And it's hard. Sometimes it's really hard to have to, like, when your spouse is telling you that it's hard and you'll never make it. I remember even someone very high up in the government that I met told me before I moved to New York, hey, you have to pay money if you breathe in New York. You won't be able to handle it financially. And I
Mhm.
did.
Yeah.
So, and you say someone in the government, he knows what he's saying, but okay, that's his. But then there is my luck and the way I handle my life and my, I don't know if you want to call it fate, and
Hmm.
you make it, and you
Oh,
make it.
yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, and I'm sure you felt a little bit of this, but I've also seen so many women hide behind their excellence or hide behind their degrees and don't want to be visible because it's so vulnerable. How have you worked through that vulnerability, and how do you work with your clients to be more visible and step into that confidence that they may not feel like they have, even if they have the expertise to be on that stage?
I love this question because, first of all, I myself came from the place of being a people pleaser, of being very, very insecure. I was canceling myself when I was young in front of people. I said something and then I canceled it. Looking back, I did so much wrong to myself, but I didn't know anything else. I thought that by being nice, but being kind, by helping people, I could make them like me, hire me, support me. And it took me a while to understand that, what I have to offer is of value and I am of value. And regardless of what I do, I hid behind the work I was working at. And if I had no job and I was working at a company people didn't know, I feel that I'm worthless. And on the one hand, I think it took me time, so I can't promise it. It takes a day, but it's really to find your inner center. And today I'm in a place where nothing outside of me can make me feel less good. And even if it does for a few minutes, I go back to the center. So my power comes from within. And
Mhm.
it's an internal work. And I'm sure like you do as well, to understand that, hey, I'm again, I'm worth it. I have a lot to offer. I should go out there. My degree is amazing, but still, we can really put ourselves out there. So when I work with women and also work with CEOs and seniors as well in my workshops, or I talk a lot about personal branding, it's amazing that I talked to a CEO of one of the biggest known companies, and she told me she's not there anymore, but when she was a CEO, she told me I felt insecure, and I'm like, you really? But
Hmm.
apparently, so many women are out there like that, and in another way, I think it makes me feel good knowing that maybe we will always feel a bit insecure. So that's a given. But then if we can go back to our center and build it in the right way, we will always have this place that we can lean on to.
Well, and I think so many women don't even realize that they're giving their power away. They don't realize that
Yeah.
not stating their opinion or stating their expertise in that meeting or not pitching that idea or hiding behind, the camera with the camera off for meetings, that's letting someone take your power away. And what I hear from you is all of these different things lead to missed opportunities, missed experiences, missed dream making. So being visible and stepping into your power, and like you said, come back to yourself. What do I believe in this moment? Not
Mhm.
what do my parents believe or my colleagues or the person in the government.
Yeah.
Um, and I also want to be really clear, neither one of us are saying that this is an easy process. It's very difficult at times in your life to block out, especially when you're first starting, all of the
Mhm.
external noise, if that's been your go-to for your life. But
Yeah.
being able to take one step at a time and peel those layers back and step into that power is so
Mhm.
incredibly important. Um, you've talked all over the country or all over the world, excuse me, in 28 countries. You've been in boardrooms, startups, global organizations. What are the biggest patterns that you see in women that
Mhm.
still feel capped or undervalued?
Wow, this is such a good question. So, on the one hand, there's some words that I hear, and I personally try not to use it. And one of the main words is just. I just want to say, I just want to add just one more thing, just a question. And just is a word that is kind of asking for our place instead of saying, I would like to add, there is another thing I want to share. Just like X said, my opinion is, I mean, coming across more assertive comes also in the words that we use and also with the tone of voice.
Mhm.
So this is what I see a lot. There is another sentence, another quote that I always like to use, which says that modesty is not a practical trait. Now think about it. And I see it so much in boardrooms that people are just quiet or agreeing with the rest, but it's not practical because if I manage a division or a team in a company and I'm not going to stand out and I'm not going to say what I want, then I might not get any opportunities for me or for my team. If I have a
Mhm.
business or a company, if I will be modest, people would not know about the most amazing service that maybe make their life better. So I see a lot of modesty, but not in the right way. Modesty
Mhm.
in business, it's not a practical trait because it won't get you on the other way to the next stage. And maybe one more thing, which you may have heard of this research about charisma. I mean, there are different researchers around what is charisma, and many of them say that charisma is something that you can learn. But one of them is some research that I really love, and I also make sure to use in my life, which is kind of the scale that charisma is using the right amount of warmth and competence in the right room. So
Mhm.
um, if I'm entering a room, which is a business room, I would even say full of men, but the talk is very practical and relevant, and I want to start in a very practical tone, and then maybe later I can be a bit more warm and ask people how they're doing. Maybe if I'm entering a room with my team and they had a really rough time, a rough day, so I would want to start a bit with warmth. How are you today? How is everything going? What was the best thing that happened today? Okay, guys, now we have to move to the practical. What were the, I don't know, results you had on this? And
Mhm.
so, how to use your warmth and competence conversation in the right way. So, again, warmth is more asking about how people feel, being more maybe attentive to them, caring. And competence is talking about deadlines, about results, about bottom lines. So find the right way how to merge them both in any situation, and that will also make you a bit more charismatic and adapted to the room.
I love that so much. Well, and so many women hide in careers that aren't fulfilling for them because they're afraid of those
So
things.
sad.
So I love that you gave them some pointers and some tips for starting because I spent so much of my life, not being bold, not being loud. I'm petite by nature, but I was, my personality is very, hands in the air and talking and big. But I spent so many years being quieter and not being so loud.
Yeah.
And one of my most beautiful mentors looked at me one day and she said, Corey, you have been making yourself small, trying to force yourself to fit in rooms that do not appreciate you.
Wow.
You are now in rooms where people appreciate you. And I hope that our audience hears that. You may be in a relationship, in a boardroom, in a company that does not value and appreciate your gifts.
Hmm.
It's time to move on. And I don't say that lightly. I understand the practicality of having a mortgage or having children to take care of, or oh my gosh, you might be the only one able to work at this time. I
Yeah.
understand that. And don't give your power away. Don't let someone else determine what you're capable of.
I totally agree, and I'm happy to that you just shared your story again because it's really about that. Sometimes you need someone from the outside to show to light the room, and as you mentioned earlier, also tell you that hey, it's not the end of the world. Maybe then if you will take that leap, you'll get to such a better place. And I think even the COVID taught us that hey, life is short. Things can happen tomorrow that will shake our world. This is the time to start doing what we like. And this is the time maybe to go to a mentor or therapist and work on the things that we think should make our life better. Because really, each and every one of you, I'm sure, because that's how human is are, we have diamonds. We have so many things and we have passions and things that we want to do. And time flies pretty fast. So find the time, make what you love doing, even a passion project until it's big enough to do only that. But really, really we shouldn't compromise on what makes us feel happy, on our dreams, and then being in the right places that appreciate us.
Absolutely. When you think about all of this, what are the first mistakes or the common themes you see when people start branding, specifically women? Let's shift a little bit to your branding advice. Where are we going wrong?
Great question. So first of all, we're not doing it. Just not doing it. And I actually a few years ago I ran a small research among women. Some of them work in companies, some of them were self-employed, and I got two main answers. One is we don't know how to do it. Nobody taught us how to do it. Secondly, we're uncomfortable to putting ourselves out there because of what are people going to say about us.
Mhm.
So not sure how to do it because nobody teaches us, even though today we have a lot of courses and a lot of information online. Secondly, which again goes back to modesty is not a practical trait and how we can bring ourselves out there. Um, and we don't have to share everything about our family and how we feel. Many times you can build your expertise in your own sector. For example, if you bake cakes and like those beautiful, I don't know, cakes, then you can talk about that. I have a friend who did millions just from having an Instagram on of her cakes, of her cake business. If you're a business consultant, then you can talk about business case study. There's so much content, and especially today with AI, you can get an ideas for content. So there's so many ways to put yourself out there without sharing who you are in your personal life. So another mistake would be to use AI only without
Mhm.
pouring your own personality in there. It's AI has changed our world for the best in many ways. It helps us write content and think on content, but I like to use it as a tool to think about content. Maybe
Mhm.
even sometimes I put some links of some researchers and data in there and then tell them based on what you know about me and this data, give me some
Yes.
ideas. But you shouldn't compromise on going through the words, change it to your own wording, to your own style, and don't rely only on that. So I think that
Yes.
these would be some of the mistakes I see.
Well, and I think that also goes back to giving your power away. You know, put it
Yeah.
out there. Do try, go for it. The people who are not your people will fall off. They will fall by the wayside, and your people will flock to you. It will
Yeah.
happen.
You know, Corey, I have to say something about that. I'm sure you also have things from your experience. I think as we grow, we understand that not everyone is the right fit. And many times we can feel uncomfortable to, as you said, let them go. And it doesn't have to be loud, but I think if we love ourselves and if we care about our well-being, then we should know who are the energy eaters or energy wasters, and some relationship that may have been amazing in the past, but now they're not there. Or someone that was very close to me, I realized that she's not really my friend, and I
Right.
love her, but I just took a step back. So I think it's okay to choose who your environment is,
Oh,
basically.
absolutely. And I think depending on your background and your upbringing, for
Yeah,
me, you respected your elders, period, end of story.
yeah.
And then in the last, 5 to 10 years, I thought, I can be respectful and not be in the room. And that's okay. You know,
Mhm.
there you have to protect your peace and you have to set boundaries. And you've said so many times during this call, this is your one and only life. Don't give your power away and your energy away to things that drain you. Do only things that bring you joy.
As much as we can. Yeah, as you said, it's not always easy. We have other things to consider, but I think when we are happy, our environment is happy. Also with parents, I learned my mom unfortunately passed away when I was younger. And I had some rough time with my father, as much as I love him, parents. And
Mhm.
at some point I realized, hey, if my father happy, I'm happy. Then how
Mhm.
can I make sure he's happy? And then it goes back to me, if it makes sense. So yeah, it's really important to take care of our happiness, even if it's
Yeah,
about making other people happy, that will come back to us.
there you go. We have talked about so many beautiful things. Is there anything that we haven't touched on? I know I wanted to leave a little bit of time for your book, but anything prior to that that you just want to make sure that you're able to say?
I will say this. I researched a lot about business relationship and personal branding, and that's what I've been teaching around the world. And when I go to the research, which is so much similar to life, there is one concept which called the VCP. Ivan Meisner, the founder of BNI, actually coined it. And it says basically three ways to create results for relationship building. Sorry. Three ways to create results for relationship building. And the VCPV is visibility, connectivity, and profitability. And then the women and men generally, based on research and also life, I would say, treat it differently. So visibility, it's about being out there, getting to know people. Men and women are doing it very well. And then it changes. The part of men usually go straight from visibility, getting to know them, to profitability, to asking for what they want, asking for
Mhm.
this client, asking to do something together. Whereas
Mhm.
women do the visibility, getting to know people, introduce themselves, and then they maintain in the connectivity, connecting, maintaining the relationship, saying happy holidays, just being there, nurturing it, but not asking. And I see, so one of the main problems and issue I see with women, also with myself in the past, was asking. Just go and
Mhm.
ask. Worst case, you'll get a yes. So really, if you want something, ask. Or in order to, maybe sometimes you can ask for advice, which is an maybe easier way to ask for something directly. It's indirectly just asking someone for an advice, and many times they would give you what you want. But I think asking, being proactive, is really the key to unlocking the next opportunity.
I love that. Tell us about your book and where we can get it.
Thank you. So the book, it's a global bestseller. It's an Amazon bestseller, the Super Connectors Playbook. It's based on my 12 years of research and speaking around the world. I just came back from a book tour in Asia and the Baltics. But the idea is that it's, of course, on Amazon. And the idea is that this is what I've been researching the whole years. I created a method of 6 pillars that help you to achieve your goals through relationship building. It's about understanding what is your goal is pillar one. Then people plan, same as you have business plan and marketing plan. Plan your people, those you know, and where to meet new ones that are relevant for you. Then it's about building a brand, because when you approach people, they would want to know who you are, and face to face and online. Then it's about connecting, how to build this rapport, how to connect authentically with people. Then maintaining relationship for the long run, which I always say that this is the working in the word networking, and there are a lot of good methods there. And then how to leverage for results. This kind of a quick overview of the book. I think the reason it's successful and people like it is because it's very, on the one hand, there is a really clear methodology, and everyone can find themselves in there, because we've all been communicating with the people. And then when you get this framework, people usually say, oh, so this is, I know how to do that. Maybe I need to get better at that. And that's why it works so well, because everyone can find themselves in this framework and kind of complete the way they get results through their relationships. So I'm really honored to share it here. And whoever that this sounds relevant for them, the book is available as an audiobook, ebook, and of course, soft cover on Amazon.
I love it. How can people connect with you?
I'm everywhere, mainly on Instagram. I'm a connector, so I have to be everywhere. Mainly on Instagram and LinkedIn. There is also my website, YouTube. I share a lot of content, video content, written content. Yeah, and I wish, everyone will really be proactive in the way they pursue their dreams and opportunities.
Awesome. I love that. Make sure you follow Lirone and take that next step in the next day,
Please.
week, month. What is your next dream? There's always something that you can do right now. Lirone, thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Corey, for your great contribution in what you do. Thank you so much.
As we close out today's episode, I want to leave you with this. Your next level is already within you. If you're feeling that pull for more clarity, more alignment, and more courage to step fully into who you're meant to be, this is your invitation to take the next step. Whether you're an entrepreneur ready to scale or a woman standing at the edge of something bigger, the path forward starts with trusting your desires, owning your worth, and leading with your inner knowing. This is exactly what I offer. Private VIP coaching, and where I guide women inside the 10K Club and 50K Club through consulting with She Sells and Superhuman Selling to help you gain clarity, step into aligned action, and build a life and business that reflects your highest vision. If you're ready to explore what's next, let's have a conversation. Book a free call now at www.corywinn.com/free call. I can't wait to connect with you. Talk soon.